Welcome to our Strive AI video tutorial on peak thresholds. So first, what are peak thresholds? Essentially, they're our way of sampling your performance, right? Right now, we consider performance your heart rate, your bike power, or your running power. And what we do for every activity where one of those streams is present in the activity, we sample it to find the peak average over 4 different time durations: 1 minute, 5 minutes, 20, and 60 minutes. So essentially, this is how we sample your performance for use in other parts of the application and to give you some feedback on how you're doing. Now, the one thing that I will point out is we consider your thresholds to be only really current over the last 8 weeks. I mean, we do keep all the data for analytical purposes, but any of the feedback you're getting on whether it's a breakthrough or it's an achievement, that's related to your last 8 weeks. That's the only piece of data where we do that, but we wanted to kind of give two things for that. We wanted to know really what your current level of fitness is, and we wanted you to have feedback based on that. So let's look at some of the ways you can interact with peak thresholds in the app. So I'm on my feed screen. If you look, you see these two cups here. That means I had a breakthrough on a peak, right? So let's click on Watopia Climbing and we can see I had a heart rate breakthrough and a power breakthrough. And this is the feedback you get up there, just these little icons. If there was a running power breakthrough, I'd have a pair of sneakers there. If you look here, you see the peaks for this activity. I had an achievement of third best 5-minute power at 3.1 watts per kilogram, and I had a PR of 60-minute power at 2.2, and a PR in my heart rate. All right, so again, this is just over my last 8 weeks, and on the summary you see anytime you had an achievement for peaks, it's displayed there. Now the next way we interact with it is the actual peaks chart in the summary of an activity. So this is a fairly interesting chart. It has a left axis of your heart rate, the right axis of your power, and I've chosen to show power in watts per kilogram. And then the line chart is your heart rate, and the bar charts are your power. And this is on the bottom scale. It's basically just the 4 different time durations. We are going to add a few more based on feedback, principally a couple under 1 minute, maybe a few in between 5 and 20. Now there's one other related feature that I'm just going to cover with thresholds, and that's your power curve. We just added this, and essentially this is the same thing as peak thresholds, but it's just focused on power, and it has way more data samples. So it has between 0 and 1 minute, we sample every 5 seconds, and then from 1 minute to 60 minutes, we sample every minute. So the dark shaded piece of the chart is this activity, and then the light shaded is your 8-week max. So if you look at any activity at any time, you can see what the power was for that one, and then it'll show what your current window of peak power is. Now we did that because we needed more data points to really be able to predict what your power might be able to be in any situation. So the last thing that I'll show you here is on the peaks page. This is a quick way for you to see how the app, or how your heart rate and your bike power and your running power have been summarized over the last 8 weeks. And that's just as simple of you clicking through each of these to kind of get a sense of how each one is. Okay? Well, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.